In the north of the Gaza Strip, Israeli forces continued their bombardment of the capital of the Palestinian enclave. One of the hits hit the Safad school, where refugees were housed, killing 5 people and wounding several others. Gaza's satellite towns of Beit Lahia and Jabalia also came under Israeli fire. Residential buildings and infrastructure were damaged. The death toll exceeded 10 people. At the same time, Israeli armored vehicles were seen firing near the Tel Al-Hawa area. However, there was no offensive activity by IDF units after a series of shelling. In the central part of the enclave, the Israelis traditionally worked on Hamas-controlled settlements. Under the most concentrated fire was Nuseirat, where hits were recorded in the northern and central parts of the city. Meanwhile, Israeli units completed their operations south of Deir al-Balah. Against this background, the IDF press service habitually reported on the successful elimination of Palestinian militants and the destruction of underground infrastructure. The Israeli operation in Khan Yunis, which continued throughout August, also came to an end. During a month of fighting in this part of the enclave, 6 tunnels, about 6 kilometers long, were destroyed, and over 250 militants were eliminated. And in Rafah, soldiers of the Haplata 162nd Armored Division found the bodies of 6 hostages in one of the city's tunnels. They had all been kidnapped on October 7, 2023, and killed by Hamas militants when they received information that the IDF was advancing to their location. In parallel, the Israelis are conducting engineering work to destroy underground infrastructure in the Philadelphia corridor. They are creating a buffer zone 1 kilometer from the border and conducting so-called terraforming of the terrain in the rest of the city. In the West Bank, Israeli security forces continued major raids in populated areas. During the week, some 180 people were arrested in the region. More than 30 people were killed, and some 140 people were injured. The largest clashes took place in the suburbs of Jenin and Tulkarm. Local militants carried out several ambushes, including the use of improvised explosive devices. Israeli security forces also foiled a possible terrorist attack in the vicinity of Ramallah. They found a booby-trapped car with a 49-kilogram explosive device inside. Anti-government protests demanding the release of hostages continued throughout Israel. The largest demonstrations took place in Tel Aviv, where tens of thousands of people rallied in the streets of the city. Along the Lebanese-Israeli border, the traditional exchange of strikes continued. The Israel Defense Forces worked throughout southern Lebanon, reporting the destruction of Hezbollah infrastructure. There was a significant increase in the intensity of hits on the Lebanese group's positions near the Litani River. There, launchers on the slopes of the mountain ridges surrounding the riverbed were hit. The Lebanese group launched rockets at populated areas in northern Israel, firing several hundred munitions. Most of the munitions failed to reach their targets, either falling on vacant lots or being intercepted by air defense systems,